lighting. It was so beautiful throughout the entire film. So well done. I thought the storytelling was also really impeccable. That jarring phone call that would happen throughout the film, and kind of you could see and feel her reaction to it. That it's negative, and it's kind of this constant like dragging her out of the present, and we as the audience feel that as well. Um, and I think that maybe had also something to do with the sound. Like I think the ringer was quite loud. Um, and you just know that there's nothing good happening on the other end of the line. So I feel like we're really right there in it with her, and you feel her desperation. Uh, I thought that the performance was absolutely incredible. It was really just her um, trying to figure out a way to save herself and save her baby, and just the worst kind of situation that you could be in. And then that tension building of knowing that he's about to come home, hearing him saying, "I'm coming for you, I'm coming for you." You hear the like him coming in the front door. All of it just was wonderful tension building, and I was on the edge of my seat the entire time. This film was absolutely incredible and beautiful visually to watch.
Three things that a woman will always notice on the frame is hair, makeup, and wardrobe. So there were moments where I was thrown off at first because I noticed that the hair was in disarray, the necklace was off. You can tell that she might need a little powder here and there. But that's the expectation you have when you see a lady in a red dress with a lip on. And as time goes on, it's been revealed that she's been in this abusive relationship, and then it makes sense as to why she's frazzled, and I wasn't so bothered after that. And as someone who comes from an abusive background, as much as I wanted her to leave um, at the end, it is as real as it can get, unfortunately, when we find that she's been locked inside the house. My first thought was, well, where's the closest window? Like, where's she's not finding the next exit. She's frozen, um, which is a common traumatic response. When she reveals her empty wallet, seeking change, she goes to literal change versus um, trying to find valuables in the house that would, sell more. In these moments, you find a sense of foreshadowing that she's never going to be leaving in the first place. It was a good use of location, keeping it in a small space, capturing the single moment in time plays really well for a short film. As I watched the credits, I did notice there was an intimacy coordinator attached, and I want to point out like how important that is, uh, because intimacy coordinators deal with high intense situations that might not necessarily involve another partner in the scene. And that's kind of what plays here. So, this is a good example of why we need the intimacy coordinator have that representation on set.
There were a lot of just great choices made here. From the idea to just have her alone the whole time, slowly feeding us the narrative, just really that slow burn really worked well. Not showing him everything just off screen the way it was, I think was a really strong choice. Um, Technically, the cinematography was fantastic. The lighting, gorgeous. We start on this nice bathed in golden light kind of feel. We're not sure where the story's taking us. Then it gets blue, and really, it's just a strong, smart use of color to convey mood.
A very effective and harrowing film throughout its entire runtime. It managed to have this sense of tension and desperation not only stay constant throughout the entire runtime, but actually build as the film went on. The performances here were great all around, especially from the lead actress. I mean, she's the only one that we see in person, and she does an excellent job. But the vocal performances from people over the phone were also very good, considering how little they had to work with. I mean, they don't have a physical presence, but you still manage to get a sense of emotion, and from the man, especially this threatening sense from him with just his voice. It's a very imposing presence, and I thought that that was very effective and very impressive. I also think the thing has a clever title, invoking this kind of image of both love and possessiveness, which is very much tied into what the film is about. It feels like a grounded and believable story. It's presented in a way that makes that come across, and I think that makes it even more distressing.
The short film was extremely beautiful. I do see that there was a lot of very interesting storytelling that was interpreted visually. You see a lot of very like aesthetically pleasing shots, a lot of very interesting camera work, as well as like a lot of like um, I guess like intricate lighting techniques that really helped communicate the sense of anxiety or dread um, that the characters were feeling, and it helped communicate. Um, it helped visually communicate the story. Most of the storytelling, I would say, was actually communicated visually.
One of the most terrifying forms of horror is the horror that is reality. The fact that this is something that can happen. Uh, the title itself also holds a very sinister double entendre in the sense of to have and to hold. Um, from our main character's perspective, the mother, um, to have and to hold is to have and hold her baby. She's trying to do everything in her power to keep this baby safe from trying to resist drinking, trying to stay away from her abusive husband, uh, but at the same time bringing up the husband. I believe the title can apply to him as well, as for him to have and to hold is her. Uh, it's a very terrifying look on domestic abuse, domestic violence, as his calls become more and more animalistic, uh, as he gets angrier and angrier to the point where uh, he essentially says that he is going to assault her when he gets home. Uh, and just the wording itself is equally terrifying, as he justifies it by saying, "You're my wife," uh, but that in and of itself, the label of wife now becomes a sign of property.